Every artist has a personal project, and half of them, they stay unfinished. Not because we're lazy, but because we're drowning under the pressure to always be creating more. We've entered a creative era where rest feels illegal, downtime feels like failure, and side projects, which should be fun, have turned into personal anxiety. Welcome back to Peace and Pixels. I'm your host, Esther Michael. Today we're diving into something that drains more energy than clients, more stress than deadlines, and more guilt than actual work. This episode talks about the hustle render, why side projects are burning us out. So today we're unpacking the trap of toxic productivity in creative spaces, why hustle culture hits digital artists harder than most, the psychology behind unfinished side projects, and how to reclaim your creative life without burning yourself into dust. We're pulling data from Maslach and Leiter 2016, major burnout researchers, and reframing side projects so they stop draining your soul. Side projects used to be fun. You stayed up late not because you had to, but because you wanted to. But now, side projects feel like obligations, like expectations, like unpaid jobs you secretly dread. This is the trap of modern digital creativity. Personal projects have become portfolios. Instead of playing, we are performing. Every render has to be post-worthy. Every animation has to be polished. Every idea has to be good enough for ArtStation. The side project isn't for you anymore. It's for the algorithm. Side projects have become constant improvement pressure. You can't just experiment for fun. You're expected to learn new software, master new lighting techniques, improve composition, keep up with the AI tools, stay relevant. Side projects have become self-improvement homework. Side projects is also why everyone is always grinding. Creative spaces like Discord, ArtStation, Twitter are full of people posting renders all the time. People bragging about sleeping only 3 hours to finish a shot. People presenting burnout like a badge of honor. The vibe is, if you're not producing constantly, do you even care? This is toxic hustle culture. It makes you believe that rest equals regression. Side projects have turned guilt into default emotion. You feel guilty when you're not working. You feel guilty when you start but don't finish. You feel guilty when you finish but don't think it's good. You feel guilty when you rest instead of grind. Creativity isn't supposed to feel like guilt because your brain wasn't built for endless creation. Human beings are not production machines. Burnout researchers Maslach and Leiter found that constant unfinished demands lead to emotional exhaustion and chronic stress. Not finishing your side project isn't a failure, it's a symptom. Maslach and Leiter's burnout model talks about mismatches between you and your work environment. 1. Workload mismatch. Creatives underestimate how much mental energy projects take. Even a small render can activate problem solving, decision fatigue, perfectionism, emotional investment, and problem anticipation. Side projects double your load. You work your job, then you work your fun job. The only problem is your brain can't tell the difference. Work is work. 2. Control mismatch. Control equals choice. But now, personal projects feel like I have to improve, I have to learn X new skill, I have to keep up, I have to produce, I have to produce. When a side project becomes a mandate, you lose autonomy, and losing autonomy kills joy. 3. Reward mismatch. In burnout psychology, reward doesn't really mean money. It means emotional payoff. But in creative spaces, if your project doesn't blow up online, disappointment. If engagement is low, shame. If your work doesn't improve fast enough, frustration. If other artists surpass you, insecurity. You put in emotional labor, but you don't get emotional reward. Burnout kicks in. 4. Community mismatch. Creative communities accidentally normalize overload. When everyone is grinding 24/7, you start believing, if I rest, I fall behind. More like, you snooze, you lose. Isolation plus pressure equals burnout. But I will not leave. So here are practical steps to break the hustle trap. Step 1. Redefine what finished means. Your definition of finished is probably toxic. Be honest. This should be your new definition. Finished means I reached the point of learning or expression I needed, not perfection. If a render touches something, it's finished. If a project stopped being fun, it's finished. If your skills leveled even a little bit, it's finished. Completion is emotional, not technical. Step 2. Use the done, not perfect approach. Every project has two possible outcomes, perfect or done. You only get to choose one. Perfection kills momentum. Completion builds momentum. And also, practice makes perfect. So the more you keep practicing while aiming for done instead of perfect, you will reach the perfect threshold that your every done will also be perfect at the same time. So for now, especially when you're starting out or building your skill, always choose done. And someday, done will grow to perfect on its own. Step 3. Rest cycle. The cycle should be work cycle to cool down, to recharge, to return to work cycle. It's simple. When you work, you cool down, you recharge, and then you work again. Not just work, and then crash. Rest cycles should include 24 to 48 hours with no creative tools. I personally do that. Slow mornings, sleep-focused days, movement, low dopamine activities, no pressure, no guilt. Rest is not optional. It's a creative requirement. Step 4. Project limit. I know you must be asking yourself now, do I really need a limit? Do I really need a limit to my creativity? No, you don't need a limit to your creativity. You need a limit to the projects you put your creativity into. You should not be doing 5 side projects, 3 short films, weekly renders, daily posts, a fan art series, a learning challenge, all at the same time. Limit your personal projects to one at a time. This prevents mental fragmentation. Okay? Step 5. Micro projects over mega projects. Big personal projects lead to stress, guilt, overwhelm, burnout, quitting. Small projects lead to completion, quick wins, momentum, confidence, progress. Instead of a 7-minute short film, create a 7-second short. Instead of a full scene, create one prop. Small is sustainable. Small builds skill. Small finishes. Step 6. Creative Sabbaths. Pick one day out of a week. A day with no tools, no learning, no creating, no guilt. Just a day to give your brain time to recover from creativity. Because Creative Sabbath will protect your creativity long term. Step 7. Reclaim why you create. Ask yourself, was this project born from inspiration or from pressure? If it came from pressure, abandon it immediately. If it came from inspiration, protect it, but protect yourself first. Now let's zone out a little and get the big picture. You're not a machine. You're not a content factory for platforms. You're a creator, an artist, a human being. Your creativity will last longer when you work slower, when you rest more, when you love your pace, when you honor your limit, when you choose sustainability over speed, when you choose completion over perfection, when you choose joy over pressure. Side projects should give life, not drain it. Your identity is not tied to your output. Your value is not determined by productivity. We have come to the end of this episode for Peace and Pixels, the hustle render, why side projects are burning us out. Remember this, unfinished project doesn't mean you're undisciplined. It means you're overwhelmed. If your creative life is burning you out, it's not because you're weak. It's because your environment is demanding too much. Take your rest, embrace done not perfect, love your pace, and protect your creativity like it's a living thing, because it is. It is. Thank you so much for listening. I am so happy that you joined me today. Please leave your thoughts and share this with a creative or a friend or a family member who would really benefit from listening to this. Thank you so much again for listening, and take care of yourself, take care of your mind, and take care of your heart. I will see you in the next one. Until next time, bye.